I need you to make sure that he's taken care of well. Mathwa can also be the time of, actually thuwiya in Arabic, the passive form, is also used for burial, to be buried. And it's maybe figurative expression for going to sleep, right? Because you bury yourself in your bed kind of thing, right? So he's also saying, honor his private times. Don't just treat him like whenever I ask, he better come here. No, let him get his rest. I've given him his hours. I've given him a schedule. He's going to abide by the schedule I laid down for him, and you better respect that too. And you better abide by that even in my absence. So he's kind of laying down some rules for his wife to not treat him a certain way. Akrimi mathwahu. Now there are some other side implications from the word thawa. Because you can say maskan for a residence. Mutabawwa you can say for residence. There are lots of words, baytahu you can say for residence. So there are lots of words, darahu you can use for residence. But the Quran in this particular case uses the word mathwa. Abdul Rahman Kilani in his Mutaradifatul Quran, which is a book of synonyms in the Quran in Urdu, he argues that thawa, the verb is used for when someone lives somewhere where their ancestors are buried. Okay, so if you've been living there for a long time, your ancestors lived there, and their grandpa and their grandpa and their grandpa, this is your ancestral land, that's called your mathwa. Okay, and in that sense in the Quran, for example, it's used for the Prophet ﷺ, وَمَا كُنْتَ ثَاوِيًا فِي أَهْلِ مَدْيَنَ, the Thawiyan from the same origin, you weren't a resident of the people of Madian. تَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِنَا, that meaning, if you were living in Madian, and you had lived there for many generations, Austin, I can hear the crunching, it's melting my brain cells and they're coming out of my nostrils. Okay, so, but you can eat that, just go a little further away so that the crunching doesn't, do that to me. Okay, so what was I saying? Something about Islam? Thawiyan. The residents, yes. So, you haven't lived in Madian for so many generations that you know their history so well, that was passed down from father to son, to son, to son, to son, to you. So the way that the Quran is giving you information about the ongoings of ancient Madian before they were destroyed makes it sound like that was your ancestral home. No, it wasn't. This is revelation. So the Quran uses that word for the Prophet ﷺ, making the claim that you're not from Madian, and yet look at the information you have about Madian, right? But mathwa is also used for another implication where you expect that your ancestors or future generations will be buried. And by implication, where will you live for generations to come? What's your long-term residence? You're not here temporarily. By literary extension, where you plan to stay permanently. And in that sense, even hellfire is called mathwa. Bi'sa mathwa al-mutakabbirin. Meaning, what a terrible place where somebody will stay generation after generation after generation, meaning lifetimes they're going to stay there. That's the implication, right? So, in that sense, when he says honor his mathwa, he may also be saying, I plan on keeping him for a really long time. And I plan on keeping him to the point where when he's old enough, he may even start a family and he may still be here. And his children may still be here. And by the word honor, it doesn't seem like he's planning on keeping him as a slave. He sees some kind of an investment here. There's something else you should know about the ancient world. This is certainly true. I can't verify if this is true for the ancient Egyptians, but it's certainly true of the ancient Romans. And a lot of Roman practices do seep over from ancient Egypt. Because the next major power to come in the world after the slow fall of the Egyptians was actually the rise of the Roman Empire. In the Roman Empire, the Caesars, they had two kinds of sons. So the Caesar has he's got his queen, they have a child, but the child, is scrawny, or he's not that smart, or he's not that good at wielding a sword, or whatever. And they're like, I'm Caesar and my son is, he's just playing Roblox all day, or he's on, Minecraft all day. He's not impressive as the next Caesar. So what they would do is, among their armies, if they had a trusted soldier who's proven himself, who's come up through the ranks, who's proven his loyalty, they could take him as a son. They could actually basically make him a son.